Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Isioma Success Olugbenga. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're logging in from. We are so excited to be back on the show. We are grateful for life. We are grateful for all that has happened in all things. The Word of God says to us to give thanks. So we give thanks. We give thanks that we are still a nation standing. We are grateful that Nigeria is not disintegrated. We are grateful to be on the show today. Last week we couldn't come up on the show as planned, but we are grateful that today we are on the show. And like our flyers say, today we are bringing to you two amazing guests. We are that are going to speak on a few of the national issues that have been bordering on the things we've gone through in the last week in Nigeria, and also the way forward into the new Nigeria of our dreams. Nigeria is a nation blessed of God. Nigeria is a nation of amazing, wonderful, great minds. And we are optimistic that together we're going to build this nation brick by brick. But we need strategies. We need understanding on how to move from where we are to where we desire to be. On the show today, we are going to, before we start, we are going to pay a 1 minute silence to the people that were shot at the Lekki toll plaza, the people that that lost their lives and were wounded at the Lekki toll plaza last week Tuesday night. So we're just going to have and pay obeisance to them. We're just going to have a 1 minute silence just to honor the dead right now, honor their lives. They are heroes of this country. They've done well in standing for everything that the country desires. Bad governance, we do not want bad governance again. We want end to bad governance. Circumstances to what happened are yet to be totally unraveled. And so I'm not here to start to debate that. But what we are here to do is to give 1 minute silence to all those that passed on that day and after that day, whether in the hospitals or wherever. So we'll have 1 minute silence right now. We pray that the lives and the families of those that were lost be comforted and that their souls rest in peace. Okay, back to the show for the day. Back to the show for the day. Yes, our speaker is ready and right here now waiting to be brought up on the show. Our speaker today is an amazing friend of mine. She's a social entrepreneur like I am, and she's very, very, very passionate about national issues. She's so passionate about national issues. She runs a show currently about the love of the country, the love of the country. So I'll just read very quickly Tinuke's profile. Her name is Tinuke Ojenema. She's an HR specialist and she's also a business consultant. I'll read that very quickly while I bring her up. Tinuke Ojenema is an HR professional, business management consultant, and a social entrepreneur. She is a host of the Love of the Country, a media program that aims at the engagement of developmental conversations and reorientation to generate actionable steps that will catalyze Nigeria's development. She expresses her passion for good governance and leadership as the executive coordinator of the Hindsight Development Organization, a leadership development and nation building organization. Like I said, Tinuke is an amazing woman that I've known for a couple of years, and she's a social entrepreneur amongst all the marvelous things that she does. So here on the show today is my special guest, Tinuke Ojenema. Like I also okay, so I'll just have her on the show. She's here. Tinuke is here with us. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, while we are trying to fix that, I also want us to remember that we have someone else coming on the show. It was a bit delayed because of the time difference. Can you hear me now, ma'am? Can you hear me, Tinuke? Okay. Please check your speakers. I can't hear you. We can't hear you right now. Check your speakers again. So while she's doing that, I also want to mention that we have another guest joining us on the show later on the show because a bit of this because of the time difference is far away out in Canada, but it has amazing insights to our topic for today. Like we know, the series that we are on right now, all of October, is about making impact as a citizen of Nigeria the next 60 years. We are aware as a nation, Nigerians, we just clocked the milestone year 60. And, for many of us, we have very mixed feelings. And so we are hoping that even though we are not where we want to be, we also know that we are not where we used to be. And we are confident that we would move from this point in the next 60 years to where we really desire to be. So on the show today, we're going to be having various perspectives and from our guests to talk to us and to educate us and to bring home their perspective of what they believe is the way to build this nation, this new nation that we desire, brick by brick. Tinuke, how are you faring? Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now, ma'am? Okay, we do apologize for the okay. Um we do apologize. I think I'll just take you out and bring you back. Can you leave the studio and come back again? Can you go out of the studio and come back again? Okay, so we are still on the show. We are still on the show. Like I said, a good number of things had happened in the last couple of days, like in a week, the last 1 week. The last couple of weeks, yes, we've had the NSAS protest, and in the last 1 week, it's been a lot of things going on in our country. On this show, like we know, we always encourage us to live impactfully. We are optimistic, and we are so confident that our nation can be built when each of us begin to live impactfully, because we are not created as islands. God has created us, all of us. We have something that we bring on board, with another. So what I bring to the table is not what you bring to the table. What we bring is different, but the combination of what we all bring to the table is what makes for national development. We can no longer, as a nation, be fine and be okay when we are fine as individuals, and our other countrymen and women are not doing so well. And so in a couple of months from now, we're going to be doing a lot more in talking about very topical social development issues that we believe are very crucial and are very pivotal to our advancement as a nation and as a country. Okay, so we have to look at back. Can you hear us now? Can you speak so we know if we can
I
hear you now?
hear you. I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, I heard
Fantastic.
you all along. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I wasn't sure about that because I wasn't even hearing your feedback. Okay, so thank you so much for coming on the show. I've been talking about what you do and reading. I'm sure you heard all of that. And like I was saying to our viewers that today's topic, or today the series that we are on this October, is actually to help us as a people in this country to begin to make impact one life after another, so that we can advance towards the national development that we truly desire. This show is actually about helping and creating awareness, or creating and helping people to understand what it means to live for their lives impactfully. We can no longer be quiet and be fine when we are individually fine and developing, and other countrymen are not advancing on the same plane with us. We can no longer be fine as citizens of Nigeria. And so I'm glad that we have you on the show today. We're also going to be having Mr. Tola CD, a coach and a mentor. He was also the youth pastor at Daystar Christian Center. And so all of today's show is just about helping our viewers to understand how we can begin to do this work of nation building brick by brick until the new Nigeria is formed. So without much ado, Tinuke, as our custom is on this show, would want you to introduce yourself to us. Can we meet you? Can we experience who Tinuke is? Can you tell us about yourself?
Okay. Thank you so.
Okay, I think we've lost Tinuke again. Hopefully, we'll have that back. This is one of the things that we must also desire. Yes, we are desirous of a good internet facility in Nigeria, internet infrastructure. Yeah, so that we are able to, from any part of the nation we
Who
are,
desires to
reach
see a progressive
with.
change country in our lifetime. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can
So
you hear
can we
me?
can we hear you? No, we
Okay.
lost
So
you in the
yeah.
middle.
Okay. So actually I'm living to catalyze the life of others, individuals, organizations, and nations by helping them to develop capacity to do, to be, and become, in order to maximally live God's intent for their lives and for the purpose which they are created. In a nutshell, that's Atinuke Ojenema.
Fantastic. Thank you for helping us experience you today on the show. We're just going to be listening to a lot of your perspective. I know that you have a show on that you recently launched, The Love for the Country. Can you tell us about that show? What do you seek to do with that show?
Well, yeah. Okay, so like from the name, for the love of country, for the love of country. So it's actually always been on my mind. And if you're close to me, like you realize that I'm a very passionate Nigerian. I, it troubles me. It troubles me as to how difficult things are in Nigeria and how difficult it is for us to embark on that national journey. And I came to the realization that it takes two to tango, it takes two to work. And so we have a kind of we tend to blame government over everything that we ought to do as a people, and we're not doing. And our government itself has also dissociated itself from the people, not knowing that the people actually gave them the power to be the government. Okay, so this is my reasons for starting the show. So, For the Love of Country is a media program that hopes to get our leaders accountable of their stewardship at any level, while on the other hand, hope to instill the right orientation, the right mindset, values that will help win the citizens from unrealistic and unsustainable expectations, correct wrong mindsets, and uphold positive but eroding values. Okay, so generally, For the Love of Country it hopes to engage developmental conversations and the orientations of the citizens in order to generate actionable steps that will birth the Nigeria of our dreams.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That show is one of the tools that is required now to be able to move Nigeria, and even this show, to move us. And so our conversations will really, we are hoping truly that these conversations will drive the actionable steps that as a nation we all need to begin to take. Because like you said,
Yeah.
it's not about our leaders alone. We also need to arise to the occasion, right? I'm sure that's what you mean. We also need to arise to the occasion of nation building, right, Tinuke?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's
Can you
right.
hear me now?
That's
Can
right.
you still hear
Now,
me?
that concept that yes, I can hear you. I can hear you,
Great.
Isioma.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Go on.
The concept of nation building is that which challenges, I can hear you. The concept of nation building itself is that which challenges the people who are being led, the people at the bottom, the people to influence change, to influence the developments that they hope to see. That's the concept of nation building. The concept of nation building is not that of those, is not a top bottom approach, but it is a bottom top approach. Is the one that challenges and expects the activities, the thoughts and words, the actions, the entire activities of the people that is far more important than the activities of very few people in government. So
Great.
that's the concept of nation building. So if we really truly desire a better country, much is expected and demanded from us.
Fantastic. We just it this October we clocked 60. And in the light of a lot of things that have happened in the last 1 week plus, we've had varying emotions. Can you tell me, what's on your mind? What emotion is on your mind when you think about Nigeria at 60? As a young Nigerian and also one who leads young Nigerians, how do you what are the emotions that you have about this nation even at this time? Can you share with us?
Oh my gosh. Um, this is really an emotional question for me. All right, so Nigeria
I
at
know.
60, and as an also as someone who is leading young people. In just two words, I'll say I'm unhappy but hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopeful. Let me start with on being unhappy. Being unhappy, looking at developed countries, we've been there once or twice. In fact, even if we've not been there, we watch movies and we read
Yeah.
books, and at least we have people who come back to tell us how organized system and society,
Yeah.
those places are. And so you get to think that after all, those who built those places are people. They are not superheroes. They are not
That's
from
right.
another planet. They are from planet Earth. So what does it take, and how long will it
Yeah.
take us to get it right? So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
unhappy seeing the possibilities of we become a developed nation, of we having a better Nigeria, of we living in the Nigeria of our dreams. Okay, so I'm unhappy about that and about the way things are currently going. And you get to ask, really, can things change? So I'm unhappy about that. But at the same time, I am very hopeful. Why am I hopeful? See, what makes a
Yeah.
nation is the people. What makes a nation is the people. And so, and and any nation that has the number of people that we have as a country, then
Mm,
it's that nation is a potential, has a potential, to develop into its own dreams, in its and its own vision.
mm,
So now I can't think, I don't think it's the most populous black nation on the earth. So, and you
mm.
can agree with me that maybe from my HR perspective, the most important resource in any
Yeah,
organization for any project or programs, now not to even to talk of a nation, is the people. So I am
yeah,
very hopeful, you know, as for Nigeria, because of the kind of people we are. We are entrepreneurial, we are industrious, we are resilient, we are we are creative, we are
great.
hardworking. I mean,
Yeah,
the Nigerian people, I'm very hopeful about, you know, what the potentials of what Nigeria could become because of our
mm,
people, and looking at
fantastic.
the energy of our young people. And guess
Yes,
what? Nigeria is
yes,
a young country. And so when we say Nigeria
yes.
is a young country, it means that it has more of our young population. So
Mm.
why do you think that, why do you think that other countries, like Canada, they want to get all our young people? All right. So that makes me hopeful.
Okay. Fantastic. We've lost you there. You need to check your audio again. But I have the pleasure of bringing up Pastor Mr. Tola CD. I call him Pastor Tola CD. He was once our associate pastor in Daystar. I go to Daystar, and I'm so proud of bringing him up on the show. Not because but because I know that he's a very young, forward-thinking Nigerian. And so he's up on the show today as a forward-thinking Nigeria, a coach for many young people that I have known and I've seen, and he's done an amazing job with it. So today, again on the show, we're going to have Pastor Tola CD. Oh, he's here right now. So thank you for coming, Pastor Tola. Uh,
Thank you.
Sorry, we got you
Thank
off
you.
your bed so early today.
It's all
He's
right.
is away from the country, and the time difference, but he's made it. We are so grateful for the opportunity to come on the show today, and
Thank you.
I have Atinuke also. She was actually speaking about the emotions that that goes on our minds as young Nigerians, and also people that lead young Nigerians. In the wake of our nation at 60 and all that has happened in the last couple of weeks. Pastor Tola, it's a great pleasure to meet you, to have you on the
Thank you.
show, and as I'm sure they are willing to meet you formally. Can you do a bit of? Can you let us meet you? Can you help us to meet? Who- Yeah,
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. If you are watching not
yeah,
from my side, my name is Tola Sidi. I I have been a pastor for some years. I still pastor, yes, but I have a deep connection to people that are from what they call the next generation, right? I
yeah.
do have a very strong connection to the millennials and those younger than them. So I've had the privilege of working with them, leading some of them, and learning from them, right, over the past how many years now. I live in Canada now. Um, I moved, I think 2 days ago, made it exactly a year that I moved here to do the next phase of life, right? I should chip this in. A lot of friends have asked me, do you feel lucky that you ran away, at the right time? But no, no. I actually do wish I was in Nigeria at this time, right? Um, yes. Well, but the Canada thing has been written from 2003. I know it from 2003, and then when it was time. Okay. Um, but yes, I'm passionate about Nigeria. I'm passionate about the young people, and it hurts me when I see lives and brains being wasted the way it is. Yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Can you share with us as a young Nigeria, and it's great to know that just about just about a couple of weeks into months and year now, going to a year that you've been in Canada. Can you share with us why you lived in Nigeria? What was your toughest call as a young Nigerian?
Oh, okay. So to get the toughest one we had was there are many tough ones, but I'll tell you two. I'll tell you two that always baffled me, and they seemed very normal, but they always baffled me. There was this day I was going for a course at the Lagos Business School. I lived at Ogudu, which meant that after a few minutes drive, I get out on the express, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I left my house at 5:15, and then I got on the express and it was all blocked. This was a Tuesday, leading to Third Mainland Bridge. So I said to the person that was with me, I said, I live at Ogudu. I live just near this expressway. Now I get on the expressway and it's all blocked. I said, the person coming from Yanapaja, at what point did he join this traffic? The person coming from Mowe, at what point did he join this traffic? I said, and we have come to believe that this is the way it must always be, and that these people will come back at night and face the same thing, and nobody is asking the government, okay, so how long are
That's
we going
right.
to suffer for this? That's one. That's one part. The bigger one for me that worries me every time is rain. When it rains in Nigeria, there'll be traffic jam, there'll be power outage, your internet will have issues, pay TV will have issues, phone call will have issues, there will be flooding, rain. Now, if it happens like that in 2020, you can bet your last dime that it will happen like that in 2021. 2020, you know that the rain is coming and it will still get you overwhelmed. And there are many nations that have earthquake, have hurricane, have wildfires, and they deal with it. As at 2 days ago, here where I was, sorry, where I am, as at Sunday, we reached minus 18 at some point, right? Everything continues working. So it worries me. How can you know that it will rain in 2021 and it still overwhelms you when it comes? So basically, my toughest call about Nigeria is the sheer state of helplessness from the government and from the citizens. Things continually overwhelm us and nobody speaks up. Nobody asks questions. Why, if I pay for a cable TV
Yeah.
and I'm watching something that is very dear to me, and because it rained, I can't see it anymore, what I paid for, I should ask questions.
Yeah.
If my wife is in labor and I'm rushing out to the hospital, and because it rains, I am stuck and there's casualty, I should ask questions. I should be able to say, well, it's happened this year, it shouldn't happen next year. What are we going to do about it, right? Um, it's that sheer helplessness that worries me. And as at last week or 2 weeks ago, I was beginning to think maybe we are beginning to deal with that. I hope so.
Thank you. Thank you. Personally, a lot of us, this, all of this, is really overwhelming, to say the least. But I'll just be focused on this program today. To go in the last couple of weeks, like I said, the NSAS and bad governance protest had moved into different dimensions. In the last couple of days, we've also seen people stampede for food, palliatives, and all of those things. Um, it breaks the heart because you see these things and you wonder if we are truly advancing, because the end SARS protest, we are hopeful that, like the government said, they've heard us and they've heard what Nigerians are saying, and we're hopeful that they truly heard, and that in the days and the months to come we will see things go better. I also want us to speak to. I want Tinuke to start, but I know Pastella would also talk about this. What would you say is the way? How can Nigerians move from this whole thing? I know a lot of Nigerians that are traumatic right now. They are so traumatic. They do not even know how to behave after this. How do people begin to move into this phase of nation of building Nigeria still? Just like you talked about, the sheer state of helplessness sometimes can be so overwhelming that many people just want to stay inactive. They just want to be in that state of inactivity. Don't do nothing, just watch them. But what do you say? What do you say to this? And how can we begin to move from this place where there is a reality shock, especially for a lot of people that were not even at the military rule time? There is a reality shock for a lot of young people. How do we move from this point to actually beginning to build Nigeria brick by brick? What is the way forward for us as a nation? Tinuke, can you speak to this? Then Pastor, I will talk about it too.
Okay. All right. Thank you again. And can you hear me?
Yes, we
Can you
can.
hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
I can.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so Pastor Tolasi, welcome. Nice seeing you here. Okay. So
Thank you.
it happened to everyone, and I had to deliberately talk to myself. I had to deliberately talk to myself on Saturday. Okay, you know what? Sunday is the beginning of a new week, and you're never just get this. You're never going to carry this into a new week. Okay, wake up and move on. What's next? What are we supposed to do now? Okay, so you know why I had to, and I guess that a lot of other young people were like me, right? And I expect that, just like I spoke to myself, I talked myself out of it, like, okay, hope there's still hope. And what do we do? What's the next thing we do as a young people to move this nation forward? Okay. So I believe that a lot of young people too felt that way. And that's because I'm looking at a new week, being the last week in October, entering November. The year is fast rounding up, and there's a new year coming. So what do we do? What's the way forward? So I'm of the opinion that our mental status, our psychological being, our entire being wellness has to be in place. That's why I would join many people who are saying that now is good for us to just retreat. So it's good we just go back, get in the shock, and re-strategize so that we can relaunch. All right. And so when we are relaunching, then we are relaunching and re-strategizing more strategically. Okay. So that's one thing. And how do we relaunch and how do we re-strategize? Now, it still depends on young people. Young people will still be the ones to do it. That's the truth. Because young people will have to take the leading role. But we can't lead when we are not, when our mental well-being is not in place. So now let's set our mental well-being. Let's settle it. Let's accept it. Let's now then begin to think of what's the way forward. So young people will still have to take the leading role. Why is it young people leading the leading role? Because they have the energy. So we are going to leverage on their energy. I mean, do you know that? I believe that what happened would have made a kind of statement, would have made a kind of impact on our leaders. I know they won't come out to acknowledge it or say something to it. But if you ask me, I think we actually made a difference. We actually made an impact. And I think that Nigeria is never going to be the same again. So we are going to leverage on the energy of the young people. We are going to leverage on their innovative mind. And at the same time, moving forward, I will tell our fellow young people that we should get capacity to talk developmentally, to engage in dialogue, negotiations, to influence policies. mm, and we get the necessary required skills, knowledge, and tools such as advocacy, for us to sustain the change. Protest is good. Protest can trigger, but for a sustainable
Yeah.
solution, for a sustainable change, then we have to do the developmental, using the developmental tools, skills that are available in, with us.
Thank you, Tunuke. Thank you so much. Pastor, can you speak to that? We want to get your perspective on that.
All right. So yes, I agree that there was considerable trauma when this happened. Um, okay, so last week I was looking at my I was on social media when I heard about the Lekki shootings, and it was very interesting because I had 2 or 3 more hours to turn in a project I was writing. I'm 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 schooling. I'm running a leadership program at the moment. So I had about 3 hours or so to turn in a project I was writing. I struggled. I mean, for like an hour, I could not type a thing. So
Sure.
the next thing I did was to send an email to my professor to say, there's a lot happening in my country right now. I am not in the right frame of mind to turn in a
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
And then she replied me under 10 minutes and said it's fine. And I should give me 7 days um, to turn it in. The following morning, I woke up and I sent her. No, the following morning, I woke up and told myself, you really don't know how long this is going to last. You only have 7 days. What if this doesn't end in 7 days? So I did the project the following morning and sent it in. And then I sent her an email. I said, well, I'm hopeful that things get better in my country. There's no time frame to it. So I'd rather just turn this in. So I sent it in. And interestingly, after then, I felt a bit of life in me. I felt okay, so I can still move. I can still do something, right? Um, the protest was good. If anything, it it made people conscious of us, right? Um, but there are two main issues in my mind. Number one, I did a series of tweets some days ago. I think strongly that we are asking the government for what they cannot give. We are asking that generation for what they cannot give.
How do you
Um,
mean?
okay. See, I tried summarizing everything we're asking for into one word, and it's accountability. Accountability. We're saying SARS, police, military must be accountable for what they do. And then we stretched it and said even government must be accountable for what they do.
Yeah.
Where is the money? Why are you earning so much? It's accountability we are asking for. And the tweets I posted was asking certain questions. Um, as a father in the house, how accountable are you to your children? As a boss
Great.
in the office, how accountable are you to your subordinates? Our culture does not permit the stronger person, the bigger person, to be accountable to somebody he thinks is inferior. And so our leaders see these protests as misbehavior.
Yeah.
It's
Like a
just
child
like
throwing tantrums.
exactly. It's just like you and your siblings trying to take up your father.
Mm.
right? They don't see it that way. It's a cultural
That's why
problem.
they use the whip.
Exactly. So it was part of what I posted that
Oh
their
my goodness.
brutality in their minds, they see their brutality as discipline.
Yeah.
In their
Yeah.
minds, we are applying discipline. And that was why the
Mm.
president said that it looks like their quick response to the initial demands were taken as
Mm.
weakness.
Mm.
You see
Mm.
that? Yes.
Mm.
It's what I could tell my child that,
Mm.
oh, because you've been doing it and I've been answering you,
Yeah.
Abby, that's why you're not
Yeah.
misbehaving. It's
Yes.
the
Yes.
way they see it, it's their reality. And listen, a
Mm.
lot of these guys are over 70. It means this is
Mm.
the culture they have been with for 70
Yes.
years.
Yes.
1 week protest, 2 weeks protest will not change 70
Mm.
years
Mm.
configuration.
Mm. Mm.
They cannot give
Mm.
what you've asked for, right?
Mm.
And it's clear, it's sacrosanct, it's there. So, like dear Tinuke said, the next thing is to strategize because really, as good as the protests were, you really
Mm.
do not have the resources,
Mm.
human, mental, financial, to sustain protests for 3 years or for 2 years, leading to another election. You don't have the resources for that. The states will grind to a halt because businesses would not run and all of that. So it's to strategize. And the biggest part of the strategies, you and I were chatting yesterday, and I was saying it's about the numbers.
Yeah.
There is a reason that almost 70% of Nigerians are living below the poverty line.
True.
Unfortunately, all of these people can vote. At least most of them can vote,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they are the ones that will vote and stay there for it to be counted.
Mm.
So, what does the government do? The government budgets for those people, not to develop their areas or their lives, but to
Mm-hmm.
give them pittance just when the election is around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone that lives below 100 naira a day or something, then gets
Yeah.
1,000 or 5,000 naira, that's big, right? The physiological needs that those people have makes it very easy to buy their support. So I think that's the next part of the strategy to sensitize those people. They have the
That's right.
numbers, there are many. To sensitize those people. You go to Agege today, you go to Ajegunle tomorrow, you chat them up, you give their kids something, you give the adults, whether it's 200, 500, or something, and tell them we'll be back again next week or be back again next month, right? But these are the things we need you to understand. You deserve this, you deserve this, you deserve this. As long as these people are there, you will not get it. So we are not saying this is our candidate. We are not saying it's just a mental shift we are trying to pass to those people. They have the numbers. I was joking with you yesterday that sometimes when you post a tweet or you put a post on Facebook or Instagram and you see 10,000 likes, in your mind, you think the whole of Nigeria has liked it. It's a lie. It's just 10,000 in a country of 200 million.
A
But
hundred, 100 million people, Abby.
exactly. So you're there feeling fly and feeling cool. It's a lie. And these guys know. So sometimes when you're speaking your big English on Twitter, they are saying it's okay, continue talking. The main people are the people they will go and meet. So that should be the next point of call for us. We should be able to reach those people. I do some groups are coming up. I've been talking with a few people as well. I pushed out some of these concerns, and a lot of people responded and said they want to set up groups and all of that. And I'm talking to quite a number of people. We'll see where we can pick it from. It doesn't have to be unified yet,
Hmm.
right? Because
Exactly. Yeah.
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
early for it to be
Yeah.
unified. When you pick
Yeah.
a leader for such a thing, and the government goes after that leader, then the whole process is in shambles. So I don't think it's time for it yet, right?
Okay.
Um, yeah. So everybody just
That time
kicks
we'll
the
need
idea. Yeah.
to tie up something.
Okay.
You know, and your perspective, I totally appreciate and love that. What you've said is so profound too, because it's a game of numbers for these guys. And, until we begin to recognize that in all that we are saying, we are as weak as the weakest of all of us. Yes, we are as weak as the weakest. So if we do not care for the weakest of us, then we stand a chance to be sabotaged by those people. We stand a chance for the work that we're doing to be sabotaged. And so, in my opinion, that I saw a lot of impact on the protest grounds all over the country. I saw people, on the protest grounds. There were different groups of people. People were literally ensuring that every single day they made sure that there were no litters on the floor. They were taking care of cleaning. They were taking care of medicals. There was counseling spots there. There were different things just to make sure that everyone was fine. Now, my question is, beyond this protest, can we begin to really do these things? Can we have people coordinate in their communities? Can we have people begin to coordinate these conversations? Healthcare, can we begin to deal with healthcare within our community? What is healthcare like in my community? Who is supposed to be accountable for healthcare in my community? Who is supposed to be accountable for education in my community? What can we do to augment what is being done in my community? Because, like you said, we need to begin to go back to what we were doing. We need to begin to go back to truly caring for the weakest of us. Because that is when we can begin to influence. It is in care and in concern and in true impact that we can influence these people. So my question here to both of you is, and maybe one person now maybe I would have Pastor Tola answer this. What is the work of the young people? What are we going to begin to do from now? How can a young person begin to play his or her role? And I want us to speak in understanding that when I say young people, what I actually mean is that I am talking to the people, our viewers on the show right now. How can I begin to go back home now, today? What can I begin to do today to actually bring about this change? Because people need to, and maybe Tiduka should answer this, because she talks about a lot about actionable items and actionable plans. I'm all for actionable plans. What do we do today to bring about the Nigeria? How do we begin to act and behave and work? What do we need to do today? Recalling that we are also traumatized by all that is happening. You have said to us, Tinuke, that we should rise up from our trauma. But what do we do today to bring about that new Nigeria? I don't know if she can hear me or if she heard me. Okay, if Tinuke is struggling, Pastor, please, could you do that for me, please? We're trying to work with time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so I think in my mind, an idea that comes to mind for me, right, is one to one, right? We should be willing to start small. And if you don't have an organization, if you are just an individual, right, and then the aim should be to go after just one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One person, one adult, 18 years and above, or maybe even 16 years. That'd be 18 years in 2 years, right? And try influencing that person. That's it. Fortunately, a good platform is what we are going through, right? So, hey, we're suffering. We're all suffering. Me, I'm wearing a nice shoe. You think I'm not suffering? I'm suffering like you, right? And so these are the things we can do. And then we pass it one by one. While doing that, we also reach out to organizations that may have the means and ask for some help. Now, let me quickly say this. I remember when one of my most respected pastors said to me that he had a conversation with a top government functionary who said, I'm angry at many churches. He said, if you go to the north, for instance, the only thing it takes to
Okay,
influence
I
northerners,
guess
he
she's
said,
lost.
okay, I think she's back.
I mean,
Yeah, Pastor Dara is speaking on something. When it's true, then we can take you, Tinuke. Pastor Dara, please
Okay,
continue.
okay. So he said, I'm really angry. He's a top government functionary in
Mhm.
Nigeria. He said, I'm angry with a lot of the churches and other groups. He said, what does it take to influence the north? And you know they have the numbers. He said, just sink borehole. Borehole is all they need. That if you could go to those places and sink boreholes, that you've met most of their needs already, right? It will shock you how small the things these people need are all over the place. So while we are influencing people one by one, we can also reach out to organizations and groups and maybe to companies and ask them to just chip in a community development initiative in many of these places, then they will listen more to us. I think Atinika will have more to say.
Yeah. Okay, Tinuke, I would like to twist your question a bit. What do you think? Because you run
thank
a
you so very much. I
non-profit.
hardly heard everything. I hardly heard everything you said.
Okay, you
Um,
run a non-profit. You run a non-profit. Okay, she's off again. Wow. Okay, so while she comes back, I have a question for her. But Pastor, Tara, can you help me? Can you help us tie up how our individual? Because people really need to, when you say to someone, start influencing someone, they need to understand how that one impact can actually become a force that moves things. You know, just like what our protest was targeted at doing. Can you speak to that? Can you tell that person that is listening or would listen after this show how that one work of influencing one person can become a force that would influence, a lot more?
It's a domino effect. How did the protest start? Oh, somebody was shot in Enugu. Somebody was shot in Asaba. That person is shouting. This other person is shouting, right? And before you know what's happening, it was coming up in one or two places. I was thinking about it yesterday. I said, so people rushed into a warehouse in Lagos and packed palliatives. A lot of those people, a lot of them, were not on social media, right? But the news came
Mhm.
out somehow. And before you know what was happening, they were doing it in Jalingo, they were doing it in Abuja, they were doing it in Ikiti, they were doing it all over the place, right? Um, these things always have a spiral effect.
That's right.
And so if there are 16 million of us, 17 million of us, right? Usually in Nigeria, the voters are less than 70 million, if I'm not even exaggerating.
That's
So
right.
if there are 16 million of us who are enlightened and all of that, and
Mhm.
each one goes to one, it's 32 million, right?
That's right.
The reason
That's right.
I advocate for one like this
Mhm.
is because the people you are fighting are also watching you.
That's right.
If it goes big from the start, then they attack it, they discredit it, they mess the person up, the person leading. And I'll wrap this up this way. If you read the Bible, you would notice many places where Jesus would heal somebody and tell the person, "Don't tell anybody I
Not
did
to
it.
speak.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Just go. Don't.
Just,
I mean,
yeah.
I used to wonder why are
Yeah.
you telling them,
Yeah.
but he needed to
Not to,
make a
mm,
spread
yeah.
before they put an eye on him. He needed to do what he wanted to do on
It
the
needed to
ground.
do. Great. Great.
Exactly. So that's what
Great.
we should try to do.
Great.
Reach people
Great.
one by one and not look for the
Great.
big deal just yet.
Great,
Thanks.
great,
Yeah.
fantastic. I love that. I love that. That is answering a question that has been on my heart. And I want to look at to talk about this. The role of nonprofits on this journey. And it's been a struggle trying to help people understand that in reaching out to people, you need to allow your impact gather some momentum, then you begin to share the work that you have done. It's not necessarily that, okay, you do one small thing somewhere, you are everybody, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't advocate or talk about what they do, but I'm saying, Pastor, I just put words to it right now that people, just like so you do a good act. It's not time to be loud and to be talking too much about it. Let it become a collective work. Let it become something, so that the good work that you're trying to do will not be ill spoken of eventually. And I get it. I get the place of speaking about what. So I want you to look at, in a couple of minutes that we have left, can you speak about the role of nonprofits, and can you speak about what nonprofit need to begin to do right now? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Apparently, from what happened, at the protest and all that, it has come to the notice that non-profits needs to go more to the grassroots.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
to go to the grassroots. So now we need to embark more on social change projects. As in, when I say projects, it's not just because you want to report, not for reporting purpose, but for impact, as in, how do I put it now? For a visible
Yeah.
impact, as in impact that
Yes.
even the communities can talk about, can speak for itself, even without or any other thing. Okay, so I
Yeah.
think that non-profits needs to be focused for the purpose of which they were established at first. They were
Yes.
established at first
Yes.
not because of the report, but because of what
Mm-hmm.
they need to, because of the changes they need
Fantastic.
to make for better lives
Mm-hmm.
in their community. That's what I think that non-profits need to do. And also, non-profits. So profits will work at the bottom, reaching the grassroots, and non-profits will work at the top through advocacy. You see,
Advocacy. Great.
they need to become a voice. Yes, they need to become a voice. They need them to be speaking for the weak ones of us.
Mhm.
You understand? They need to be
Yeah.
their voice. They need to be their voice and the real voice of change. Right? Speaking to those in authorities, speaking on behalf of those ones at the bottom where whose voices cannot be heard at the top. So it's going to be
Mhm.
a two angle approach for non-profits: advocacy and projects to the community, and advocacy to the leaders at the top. That's what I think that
Fa- fantastic.
non-profits
Yeah.
need. So let me also say, sorry, that there was one I wanted to answer about how, as individuals, as a citizen,
Mhm.
as someone who is listening to Made for Impact show today, how then can he begin to make a difference and I want to make a change? This is simple, and this is what I have to say to it. See, everything you expect that the government should do for you need to do it. You see yourself as the government and begin to do it. Now, you think that, take for it now, you think government is irresponsible. They've not been responsible for some of their duties. What are those duties? See, when our gutters are blocked in our communities, to call what was it, Buhari to fix it. So how do we, as an individual, what do I do when I see death on my street? Can I by myself find a day to pick it up, or do something? Can I call few of my friends in the neighborhood? So let's get this thing done. So that is how the change is going to be, and that is what each and every one of us can do to make a difference. You know why? Reason why is important that each one of us need to embark on be the change that we want to see and demand from us the things we demand from government is because one of us also will become the president one day. One of us will become the minister, become the commissioner, become the House of Rep, or become the local government chairman. So one of us. So it is out of the people that the leader emerge. So rather than blame the leaders right now, but what are the things that as citizens, as Atike, as Isioma, that you can do to make a difference in your community, in your immediate community? I'm not saying that you should go and clean the whole of Lagos, or solve the whole of Lagos State's problems in your own street, in your own family, in your place of work, where you are. How much of a blessing are you, and how much impact do you deliver?
Thank you so much. You really just put it, wrapping up all that we had talked about today in that conversation in one word. While we round up, because we are rounding up, our time is fast spent, even though We didn't start exactly by 12. I want you, Pastor Dara, to please say, give one last word. The focus of this show is helping people to inspire people to make impact with their lives. We believe on this show that every one of us is created for impact. And if we would live selflessly, if we will move beyond ourselves, then our nation and our communities will become better places for ourselves and for the people around us. And so I want you to speak one word to that person watching, that person that will watch again or the replay, on how they can begin to truly make impact with their lives, going forward.
All right. So I said to someone on the phone um, some days ago. I said there's every possibility that 1 year from now you're exactly where you are.
Mm,
5 years from now you're exactly where you are.
mm,
Um, Time does not necessarily bring growth.
yeah,
It is the actions you take, right?
it is.
So for the Nigerian youth listening,
Mm,
it's two major things. Number one, the protest alone is not enough, as it were. Us sitting down like this will keep the nation the same way
that's
in
right.
2023, 2027,
That's right.
2031, right?
Mhm.
Except we do something. That's one. The second part is the helplessness, which is the reason people go selfish. Well, I can't fix
That's right.
Nigeria, so let me take care of myself, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's the other bit we need to deal with. Um, uh, Anything in Nigeria that you think is not good, you try to remove it from your own life, as it were. You speak of corruption in Nigeria. Have you dealt with it on a personal note?
Mm,
You speak of uncleanness in Nigeria. Have you dealt with it on a personal note? If you have, or when you do, then spread it. Just one. Just spread
yeah.
it to one
Yeah.
person. That's
Yeah.
all you have to do. We will gain traction over time. We're dealing with issues of people say it's 60 years, but it's not even 60 years. It's a lot longer than that. I was still
Mm,
watching the documentary on slave trade and all of that, and I was saying
mm,
to my wife, but we are the ones selling the slaves to these people,
right. That's right.
right? So it's been there for many years. You are dealing with culture, right?
Mm,
You can't change it in one day, but we can start moving. And the earlier we
mhm.
started, the better for us.
Thank you so much for that final word. Tinuke, can you tell us, can you say one word to someone listening, to
Okay.
someone that will listen to the replay? Thank
Oh, okay. I would just like to say that each and every one of us carry power. We carry
you. Mm,
power, and so it is our sole responsibility as every individual, as an individual, to find your power, engage it,
mm,
use it, unlock it to make a difference right where you are.
mm. Thank you so much.
Without
Unlock your
power,
power. Yeah.
nothing can change. Yeah.
I lost you there. I didn't get that one, but I had, um, we need to unlock our power, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure having both of you on the show today. And I'm sure that our viewers we have a comment from one of our viewers, Taiwo Ayetimei. And it says, thank you, Tola CD. Thanks so much. Deep connection with the Sorosuke generation. We are grateful for that impact. We are thankful to you, Tinuke. I totally love your conversation to nonprofits. I totally love that. Being someone that has also worked in nonprofit for most part of my career years, I understand what you just said. And I believe that nonprofits that are watching will take a cue. Let our work be more and more impactful at this time. Yes, we know that we need to write reports, we need to make it good, but we must do the work. We must do the work and we must speak.
Yeah.
We must advocate.
Exactly.
Thank you. It was such a beautiful time on the show today because of both of you. and our amazing viewers that are watching and will watch the program after now. From me, I want to say thank you. And next time we will come again with another episode, sizzling and ready to impact you. From Pastor Tola, what would you say to our guests? We are saying bye bye.
Yes, bye bye. Thank you for watching, and whatever it is you've picked from here, please work with it. Please do.
Yeah, final word of bye bye from Tinuke. Can you still hear us?
Okay, so bye everyone. And don't forget
All
that.
right.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm saying bye to everyone. Yeah, so you remember you have power, and collectively, when we use our power, we can engage the change that we want to see. Bye, and don't forget to keep impacting your world.
Yeah, see you next time. From me, it's your my success, Olubenga. We are checking out. Bye bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.